At the beginning of the film, we are shown a lady named Sarah. She was with her kids. That was Halloween night. Sarah's son finds a tape from her treat bag. He didn't know that where it came from and who put it in his bag. He plays the video, but Sarah stops him to do this because it may contain any weird content. But both of Sarah's children don't agree. They wanted to watch it. At first, Sarah watches that tape alone. That tape was empty because nothing was playing on it. But suddenly it plays. There we are shown a clown named Art. Then to watch it, Sarah's kids also come there. They start watching the tape together. It was a Halloween night in the tape as well. A girl named Casey is shown there. She was waiting for the train. Then a clown sits in front of her. He was passing a creepy smile to her. When Casey ignores him, he takes a horn out of his trash bag and plays it. Seeing it, Casey shows anger and asks him to sit quietly, on which that art clown comes and sits beside Casey. He takes an artificial flower out of his trash bag. He gives two to Casey. Casey thinks that he wants to say sorry. Therefore she takes that flower. Suddenly Art starts smiling. Casey finds many insects and cockroaches in the flower. Casey throws that flower and was about to leave, but Art holds her. He inserts an anesthetic injection into her. It makes her faint. When she gets conscious, she finds herself chained. That place was so dark. Two other girls were present with Casey there. They were brought here in the same way as Casey. One of those girls tells that they were three friends, but someone pulled and took a girl using a chain. After some time, only her screams could be heard. Casey says then it is quite dangerous for us. We'll have to leave. Otherwise, we'll get killed. Right then, someone pulls another girl. These girls are left astonished at what just happened. Casey says we should follow this girl. They both gear up the courage and moves forward. Their chains were tied with pipes. Casey tries to break it. It makes noise. Hearing this noise, a creepy man comes there. He wasn't a normal human being but a deformed person. He grabs the other girl and cuts her hand. Then he kills that girl. After killing this girl, he attacks Casey, but her chain breaks by his cleaver knife. Casey runs and she sees someone as she goes forward. Casey goes to him to seek help. Then Casey looks at his carriage that contained alive people. When Casey looks at him, his face was totally changed. He captures Casey and ties her. Then weird demons surround her. There were different kinds of demons, witches, and aliens. They also tied a pregnant lady there. Those demons cut her belly and take out her baby. They collect the blood. They give it to someone. That man to whom the blood was given drinks it and goes towards Casey. He was the biggest demon of hell. His name was Satan Demon. All the demons present there were from hell and were the servants of Satan. Casey screams loudly and this clip in the tape ends here. Sarah's son likes this clip, but Sarah and her daughter get scared watching it. Sarah turns off the tape and asks her kids to go to sleep. Sarah was still thinking about the tape. After some time, the door of Sarah's son opens automatically. Sarah's son awakens hearing this noise. He sees his sister there. She was afraid after watching the tape. She was feeling scared in her room, so she came to her brother's room to sleep. Then they sleep. Sarah plays that tape once again. This time, a lady named Caroline is shown. She just shifted to her new house. That night was also Halloween. Caroline's husband wasn't there and she was alone at home. At that time, she was talking to her friend on call. Caroline tells her friend that her husband made a weird painting. She says that according to her husband, he also doesn't know that when did he make it. After some time, a light falls outside her house, due to which her house goes out of power. She tries to call her husband but her cell phone wasn't working. Caroline comes out of the house and sits in a car. She tries to start the car but it wasn't starting. Suddenly, she sees a light behind her coming towards her. She comes inside her house and closes the door. She receives a call from her husband. She was telling everything to her husband when the call disconnects. An alien enters Caroline's house. Seeing it, she starts screaming. That alien hears her voice and sees her. Caroline runs upside quickly, but that alien grabs her before she could go upside. But somehow, she frees herself and gets locked in a washroom. That alien plays a weird sound in order to locate Caroline. It affects Caroline's brain. She screams. Alien finds her and catches her. That alien was trying to insert something into Caroline. Caroline pulls out his pipe through which he was able to breathe. Then she runs away. That alien inserts that pipe again. He starts following Caroline once again. Caroline hid under the stairs. At the same time, her husband calls and the alien hears this sound. That alien catches Caroline and takes her out while dragging her. Caroline holds that painting that was made by her husband, and it gets uncovered. That painting was none other than Art's. Seeing that painting, Sarah also gets scared. It seemed that the clown was staring at her. Sarah turns that tape off but she sees someone in the house. She thinks that her children might be playing some trick on her. Then Sarah goes to their room to have a look at them. She finds them asleep. She thought that both kids are faking sleep. She asks them who came downside. Kids say, "None of us." Sarah thinks it is a lie and leaves. Sarah's son asks her, "Why are you keep watching us?" Hearing it, she gets shocked because she came here for the very first time after they fell asleep. She was downside watching the tape. Coming down, she starts thinking about this tape again. Therefore, she plays the tape again. This time, a female designer is shown to us. She was going to her home. On the way, she stops at the petrol pump. No one was there, so she goes inside to check. She sees that an employee is pushing someone to get him out. The man who was being expelled was Art. Art had seen the designer. That employee says that he'll call the police here. Hearing it, Art picks up his trash bag and leaves. Then that employee starts filling fuel in the designer's car. She hears someone's voice from inside. Then he goes inside to have a look. Much time had passed, but that employee didn't come outside. So that designer goes inside to check. She hears the sound of a saw. When she goes inside, she gets shocked because Art was cutting his head with a saw. Art starts laughing while looking at the designer. That designer sits in her car quickly and runs away. She thinks she is safe now. At some distance, she finds Art seeking a lift. She increases the car's speed. She tries to seek help using a cell phone, but her cell phone's battery got low. Looking at the mobile, her attention from the car distracts. His car gets out of control, but she controls her car. She stops the car thinking Art is left behind. But then Art comes beside the car's door and tries to open it. But the door doesn't open as it was locked. That girl takes out the car from there. Going forward, she sees a car stopped there. She was hopeful that she'll be able to get any help from this car. So she gets out of her car and goes to that car. She sees that the girl inside the car is already brutally injured by Art. Then she quickly sits in her car and goes away. But she didn't know she made a huge mistake coming out of the car, because in that car, Art also sat. He tries to suffocate the girl and kill her, but she stops the car fastly and starts running coming out of the car. She reaches a shed and closes its door firmly. Art also chases her, but he couldn't enter the shed. Therefore, that girl keeps sitting there. There is peace for a long time. But then a hand comes out of the ground. That hand was Art's. He dug the ground to make his way to here. Seeing Art, that girl starts running from there. But the door doesn't open, because this time, the door got closed from outside. Art had a chain. He attached sharp-edged tools to it. He starts killing that girl with this chain. A blade falls off his chain. That girl picks up that blade. She stabs it in Art's eye. Then she inserts a knife in his back and runs from there. She finds a car on the road, so she sits in it. She thinks that she's free now, but it was nothing like this. Someone was following her in a car. He was Art. Art moves his car towards them and kills the driver by shooting him. Their car imbalances and hits a tree. When that girl comes to her senses, she feels so strange. She finds some tools around her. These were covered with blood. Art was sitting beside her. He was continuously laughing while looking at her. In fact, he cut her hands and feet. Therefore, those tools were covered in blood. He wrote many abusive words on her body. Seeing this tape, Sarah gets upset and disturbed, so she turns it off. Then the telephone rings. Sarah attends the call and is left astonished, because on the call, that designer girl she saw on the tape was seeking help from her. Sarah gets scared and disconnects the call. Suddenly, television gets turned on. Sarah goes near it and looks at it. There is Art, who was slowly moving towards the television. Very soon, Art comes near the screen. It seemed that the only thing left in between them was this screen. He came this near. He was looking at Sarah and was trying to scare her. Sarah gets scared badly. He was getting more into scaring her. Then Sarah sees herself on the television. Art was sitting behind her. Sarah turns and looks behind her, but no one was there. But on the television, she sees that the clown is coming towards her. She tries to turn the TV off, but all in vain. Art got so close to Sarah. Sarah takes out the tape and breaks it. Due to this, Art disappeared. Right then, Sarah listens to her children's screams. She quickly goes upward. What was happening there was being shown to us as a tape recording. Going upward, she sees Art covered in blood and laughing. But suddenly he disappears. Sarah goes to the room and sees that Art has detached heads of both children. He covered the wall with his blood and wrote his name there. Seeing it, she weeps and cries. This movie ends here with her scream. Thank you for watching.